Hey everyone, today we're going to dive into something really fascinating, the world where artificial intelligence meets the human body. We're going to break down how we teach a computer to understand the complex, physical reality of how we move. And it all starts with a question you've probably even thought about yourself.
It's a great question, right? You see this tech everywhere now. You've got apps that act like a personal trainer, watches that can warn you before you might get hurt. It feels kind of like magic, but it's not. The secret sauce really is teaching the digital world of software the physical rules that our bodies have to follow.
And here's the core idea. For an AI to give you truly useful advice about your body, it can't just crunch a bunch of data. It has to understand the fundamental rules of how your body actually works in the real physical world. It literally needs an instruction manual for what it means to be human. And that, right there, is the huge challenge. An AI thinks in code, in patterns, in statistics. But our bodies, we operate under the laws of gravity, leverage, and force. To make AI really truly useful for our health, we have to find a way to translate the physical into the digital. And luckily for us, there's a whole field of science dedicated to exactly that. Okay, so to build that bridge, we need a playbook, a set of rules that governs how our bodies work. That playbook is called biomechanics, and it is the absolute key to connecting the world of AI to the world of human movement. So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, biomechanics is the study of how living things move, but using the principles of engineering. It treats the body like a really sophisticated machine, one with its own set of rules and, limitations. Seriously, think of it as the ultimate instruction manual for your body. Now, any good instruction manual needs a clear language, right? Engineers often use X, Y, and Z axes to describe space. In biomechanics, we use planes. The easiest way to picture this is to imagine putting a person inside a glass box. The sagittal plane slices them right down the middle, into left and right halves. The frontal plane slices them into a front and a back. And the transverse plane, that slices them into a top and a bottom. Just like that, you've got a perfect 3D map for any movement you can think of. Okay, let's get into one of the coolest parts of this, the simple machine that runs almost everything we do, the lever. You've seen them everywhere. A lever just uses a pivot point, what we call a fulcrum, to multiply force. It's what lets you lift something super heavy with way less effort. And levers come in a few different flavors. A first-class lever is like a seesaw or scissors with the pivot right in the middle. A second class is like a wheelbarrow with the thing you're lifting in the middle. And a third class is kind of like a fishing rod where the effort is in the middle. And that third one? Oh yeah, that's the one we're really interested in because our bodies are just packed with them. No joke, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Our bodies are absolutely full of these lever systems. Think about a bicep curl. Your elbow, that's the pivot, the fulcrum. The weight in your hand is the load. And your bicep muscle pulling on your forearm, that's the effort. It's pure, simple physics happening right inside your own arm. All right, so we've got the basic mechanics down. The levers. But what about the stuff our bodies are actually made of? Our muscles, tendons, bones. To understand their limits, engineers use something called a stress-strain curve. The absolute easiest way to think about it is to imagine stretching a piece of taffy. This chart just plots how hard you're pulling versus how much the taffy stretches. Let's stick with our taffy analogy, because it works perfectly here. Stress is the force you're applying, how hard you pull. Strain is how much the taffy stretches because you're pulling on it. At first, it's elastic, You let go, it snaps back. But if you pull too hard, you hit the yield point. That's where it starts to get permanently stretched out. Pull even harder and snap, you hit the failure point. Every single tissue in your body, from a muscle to a bone, has a curve just like this one. Okay, so we've got the playbook, right? We know the rules of levers, the limits of our tissues, but how in the world do we actually read what the body is doing in real time, and then turn all that physics into data and AI can actually understand? Well, it all starts with some pretty cool little gadgets. They're called inertial measurement units, or IMUs. These are the exact same tiny sensors, accelerometers, and gyroscopes that are inside your smartphone or your smartwatch right now. By placing them on the body, we can track movement patterns out in the real world, not just in some fancy lab. We can finally capture data from real life. But tracking movement is only half the story. We also need to know what's causing the movement. And for that, we use something called electromyography, or EMG. Here's the deal. Every time you contract a muscle, it generates a tiny electrical signal. EMG sensors are designed to pick up those signals. It is literally like putting a microphone on your muscles and just listening to them fire. And check this out. This is what that muscle music actually looks like when we turn it into data. You can see the sensor on the arm, and then those squiggly lines on the right are the signals. See that big burst of activity for the biceps? Boom, that's the muscle firing up to do some work. This is the raw language that we can finally feed into an AI.
Okay, this is all super cool, but what's the point? Why go to all this trouble? Well, collecting all this data isn't just for fun. It leads to real-world applications that are changing people's lives and letting us engineer much, much smarter medicine.
Well, two of the biggest areas where this makes a huge difference are in orthotics and prosthetics. It's easy to get them mixed up, but the difference is pretty simple. An orthotic supports a body part you already have. Think of a knee brace. A prosthetic replaces a body part that's missing, like an artificial hand. And the design for both of these relies heavily on all that biomechanical data we were just talking about.
And you know, designing these things is a real engineering puzzle. You have to pick the absolute perfect materials for the job. You need something that's biocompatible so it won't irritate the skin. It has to be strong enough for daily life, but also lightweight so it isn't a burden to wear. This data helps engineers make the perfect choice for every single patient.
But maybe, just maybe, the most critical job for biomechanics today, especially with AI exploding everywhere, is to act as a fact checker. It provides a grounding in reality that can stop AI models from making some dangerous, physically impossible mistakes.
Let me give you a really clear example. Imagine you're building an AI to analyze walking. The model looks at some sensor data and it predicts that the force of a person's foot hitting the ground is 10 times their body weight.
So what do you think? Does that sound right to you? 10 times your body weight, just from a normal walk?
The answer? Absolutely not. No way. It is physiologically impossible. During the normal walk, the force is more like 1.2 times your body weight. Maybe if you're doing a high-impact jump, it might hit 6 times. But 10? That is a massive red flag that something is wrong with the AI model. That's how biomechanics acts like a reality check for the AI.
And this isn't just guesswork. Experts actually have a 4-step checklist to keep the AI honest. First, is the movement anatomically plausible? Like, can a knee actually bend that way? Second, is it mechanically consistent? Does the physics math actually add up? Third, is the force realistic? Like in our walking example? And fourth, is it energetically feasible? Does the body even have enough energy to do that? This whole process is what makes sure that medical AI is both safe and reliable.
So, when you boil it all down, biomechanics provides the essential rulebook for teaching AI about us. It's the bridge between cold, hard data and our warm, physical reality. And as these AI systems get woven more and more into our daily lives, from our fitness apps to our actual medical care, that bridge becomes more critical than ever. So, the question we're left with is this. As AI gets smarter, how else can the ancient, unchanging physics of our own bodies help us build a smarter, safer, and healthier future for everyone?